How good does that sound? I hope you enjoyed that intro. Listen, 8th of May 2022. I hope in like 20, 30, 50 years, God knows how long, we're singing that. It's part of the fabric of the club, and people are going to ask the question, when was the first time that was sung at Arsenal? Today is that day. Special moment, especially for the artist, Mr. Dunford. What you have pulled off to get that song sung on the terraces at Arsenal, incredible. So anyway, moving on from that, that's how the game started. Started brilliantly in the sunshine with that song, 2 goals, a red card for Leeds, but boy, it ended up being nervy. And to be honest with you, man, I'm frustrated because I wanted to go into the North London derby on Thursday with bags and bags of confidence. I'm really happy we got the 3 points because that's what today was all about, but I really sensed an opportunity to, I know it might sound a bit much, but even to eat into some of that goal difference, you know. But look, you know, today I felt like Leeds did us a massive favour with the way they started the game. They were clearly like very fired up, but they didn't channel on any of that energy well. They were like a bit ragged at times in the challenge. There were numerous occasions where they were leaving something on Martinelli or other players, getting like into little spats with our players. And I get that they're a team that's fighting relegation, and they were, you know, sort of having to defend some Arsenal pressure, but that's not the way to do it. What Luke Ayling did, can you imagine if it was 11-11 how different that game could have been? And that's not even to mention the gift that Meslier gave Eddie Nketiah. I have to say, like, I don't know how I feel going into that North London derby. I'm just very, very relieved that Arsenal, and I know you're not going to want me to say this, but we can afford to lose that game and still qualify for Champions League. Obviously, I'm not suggesting that's the mentality we should be carrying into the game. I'm not suggesting I want to lose the game. That's ridiculous. But the fact of the matter is, we've got that points gap between Tottenham. They need to win. We actually don't need to win. That's just a fact of the matter. And I'm really relieved about that because I'm not confident. You know, when I look back at some of the games Arsenal have played against Chelsea, for example, Eddie Nketiah, great work, and it was Nketiah who played a really, really awful back pass, gave us a gift. And then today, again, it was Meslier, like I've mentioned, Eddie Nketiah again with the great work, and Meslier's given us a gift. Now, none of these are gifts if Nketiah doesn't do the hard work, doesn't run the hard yards and take those chances to make sure that he can just, you know, hopefully squeeze something from an error. And he's done that on numerous occasions. So you can't just say it's luck. It's not all luck. Eddie deserves his props for that hard work and those yards that he's putting in. But at this level, when those things happen, you don't expect it. You're surprised. Now, I'm not expecting that to happen on Thursday. I do not think we're going to get any gifts. We know Tottenham have just put in a really good performance against Liverpool. And I'm nervous because I wanted Arsenal to respond with a statement today. And after getting that early lead, and then after the red card, I thought to myself, what a perfect opportunity. In all honesty, right, when you're a football fan and you come to the games, right, you're paying a lot of money. You don't spend a lot of time enjoying yourself because you're always stressed. Even when it's 0-0, you're stressed you need to score. When it's 1-0, you're stressed because they might score and the 3 points will be in jeopardy. Even at 2-0, you're thinking 1 goal will change this. It's only really ever at 3-0 where you can kind of say, okay, you know, somewhat relaxed. But at 2-0 and a red card, I was saying to myself, look, today should be a day out in the sunshine. We can try and enjoy this. But it didn't end up being enjoyable. I was stressed. How's it going, man? You right? Cheers, man. I was stressed all game. I was just stressed. And that second half, it simply wasn't good enough for me. Now, look, I don't want to be negative about it because ultimately, like, it's the business end of a season. It's a young team that we're not going to be the best team at dealing with this. You know, it's not like we've had this pressure before. So you have to give these players credit because they have done the job ultimately, and that's what counts. And not only that, for context and balance, I'd say, look, Leeds are a team that are desperate to survive. So this wasn't like, you know, some team that's not really there to fight. They were fighting and Arsenal managed to see it out. No matter what happens in football, it's a results business. And Arsenal got the result today. So for all of the flaws in the performance, we did our job. You know, we did our job. We should have been more clinical. We had a lot of chances, but, you know, that'll come, man, and that's what this transfer window is all about that's coming up, and that's why 4th place is so important, because if we want to add those players that are going to make games like this, instead of being a nervy 2-1, finishing like a comfortable 3 or 4-0, it's what we do in this transfer market this summer. that really is going to make that difference. So, look, you know, I'm not going to be too negative today. It is a case of simply Arsenal fans needing to get behind the team and basically, yeah, just converting all of this hard work of this season into a 4th place finish. And do you know what? I'm saying 4th place finish, right? But I don't know how you guys feel, but Chelsea, they're looking dodgy with all the stuff going around their club, where they've thrown away that 2-goal lead and a Connor Cody 97th minute equaliser. You know, it's looking like maybe there could be something in 3rd place, but I don't want to be too presumptuous about that. Let me know in the comments whether you think that's realistic, whether you think that's on the cards or not. But listen, for me today, players that played well in Nketiah, we have to talk about him, man. A lot of people a month ago, 2 months ago would have been saying new contract for Nketiah, don't be stupid. But now, how's everyone feeling about that? I watched him at youth level and always felt like there was a player in there. Honestly, I thought he would make it. I was really disappointed with, after he got off into a brilliant start when he scored, I think it was against Norwich as a sub, and started off really well. I thought, brilliant, that's what an academy player needs when he's coming into the first team. But then he just seemed to like drop off on his performance level. Now he is doing well. I think that's 4 in 4. He's won us the game today. He's done brilliantly. And even if you wouldn't have him as your starting striker next year, which I totally get that, how are you feeling about Eddie Nketiah now? To offer him a contract and say, listen, you're one of 2 or 3 strikers that we're going to have at the club next season. Do you think he's earned that, or do you just not believe in him as a striker for Arsenal Football Club? My personal opinion is I want to keep him at the club. Because ultimately, look, even if in a year or two we turn around and say, no, he's not the guy, at least we've protected his value. I'm sick of players leaving Arsenal on free. Whether it's 40 million or a 20 million pound player, I reckon if we sign him to a deal, we can get 15, 20 million pound for him and reinvest that. We can't afford to let players go on frees all the time. Anyway, Tomiyasu, thought he was brilliant again. You know, just one of, if not our best defender at Arsenal. I feel like he's always really switched on, and he had Rafinha to deal with today for large parts of the game. Now, Rafinha's a great little player, a really tough player to play against, and Tomiyasu did well, and he's only just come back in the team. On the other hand, Cedric, I feel like, man, there were so many moments today where I thought to myself, this is why we feel like he's not the guy. But you know, it looks like both of these players are likely to play on Thursday unless Ben White can recover. And Ben White was in the stands today. You'd think to yourself, if he's been injured and he's not even on the bench, is he really going to be all right to play in the North London derby, the crunch game this season, in a few days' time? Probably not. So I'm nervous about Son on Cedric. That is just going to give me nightmares until we play Tottenham on Thursday. But the last thing I'm going to say is, let me know your predictions below. Tottenham versus Arsenal. Basically, it could end up being a playoff for that 4th place, because we've got some tough games with Everton winning away at Leicester. That I feel it looks like to me the relegation battle is going to go down to the final day. So on that final day at home against Everton, they are going to be playing out of their skin, and they look like a different team. So we cannot assume anything. Newcastle away as well. Newcastle are playing well these days. So it's going to be really nervy to the end of the season. I would love it if I see loads of people in the comments below saying we're going to beat Tottenham. That's the confidence that I want to see. Unfortunately, I don't have it. I'm really nervous. I think it will be a draw in that game. But if Arsenal do the job, win at Tottenham away, secure 4th place, what a lovely way to secure it. Fingers crossed that's what happens. See you next time.